Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. Tier 0 is here, and is it actually Tier 0? No. I'm gonna straight out say it's not. Mostly due to the fact that Best of 1 exists, and we are currently in a meta where the decks are not as consistent, which means that in a Best of 1, or more specifically just in Best of 1, there are a myriad of ways to beat this deck. It's not that difficult when your opponent doesn't see it coming, right? Or if you just draw better, right? You can just get lucky. That's pretty standard, right? The thing with tier is that it is insane in a best of 3. Being able to consistently make these really good boards, being guaranteed to go first, being really good at going second as well, and playing through interaction with mostly engine pieces is very strong, similar to how Sword Soul was previously, right? Just like a stronger version of that. However, I have built a deck that kind of is that halfway point between really good against a Shizu tier and also really good against the things that beat a Shizu tier. It's not quite there, but there are some deck decisions that are specifically to beat the decks that are designed to beat you. So let's quickly do the card by card. Starting off with the triple Maxi, triple Ash Blossom, triple Infip, the double Called By, and the one Crossout for our like pseudo tech cards. Yeah, the Maxi minigame as well as Infip. Infip happens to be the best of the hand traps at the current moment due to the fact that it is able to stop both the Kit Kalos and the Rhinoheart, while also being able to stop things like Flu and Exosister really efficiently. So that's why we're playing Infip in here. Nibiru doesn't really do anything. Yeah, that's basically it. So hitting the anti-meta while also hitting the meta, this happens to be the best one. You may be saying, well, why not Effect Veiler? Well, because Called By exists. That's why. So Effect Veiler is just not as useful. Moving on to the rest of the monsters, we're playing double Diviner of Herald. Really good normal summon. You normal summon it, you send one of your fairies, such as your Keldo or your Mudora, in order to make it a 6, and then if you have another 4 onto the field, you make Baron, and you're off to the races there. Next up, we have Tearlaments Merrily, as well as just the rest of the tiers. We're maxing out on the tiers. Merrily is on normal or special, send the top 3. Havness, when your opponent activates a monster effect, you could special summon this card, so you have to chain it to the activation of the effect, and then you mill the top 3. And then Sheeran, special summon, send a card from your hand, or send a monster from your hand to the graveyard, and then send the top 3. Very good. We also playing, of course, the triple Rhinoheart. Rhinoheart is very, I mean, it's solid, but it's not like perfect. If this card is normal special summon, you can send a tier monster to the graveyard. Then, if it's sent to the graveyard by card effect, you can special summon it, which also triggers its first effect. Very nice. Oh, did I say tier card? Tier monster. Sorry. It does matter. We have the double Keldo, triple Mudora, and the double Kelbeck. We're running the maximum amount of Shufflers. Shufflers are just really good right now, being able to deal with specifically tier. But then on top of that, we're also playing Kelbeck because it has the best in-hand effect, and it's nice to have at least 1 or 2 of the Millers. But yeah, Agito is... Here's the thing. Agito is great against the non-meta stuff. So Exosister, Flunder, etc., right? Because if you run them out of resources, they tend to falter. However, it's not very good against a Shizu tier. So that's why we're still running 2 of this with the best hand effect, but we're not running the Agitos. Agito is good, it's just not as good. So yeah, there you go. And since we have Scream already, there's no point in getting additional Millers for my opponent to also play the game on my turn because I allowed them to, right? If that makes sense. If they didn't draw the Havness, why give them the opportunity to also play the game? Next up, we have ourselves the spells. We have the one of Harpy's Feather Duster, Foolish Burial, and Terraforming. Terraforming to search out the Perlino. Perlino is very good. Grabs a monster, boosts your monsters by 500, and if a monster is shuffled back, a tier monster is shuffled back, you get a pop a card. Why is this the case? I don't know, but there you go. Next up, we have double Triple Tactics. Triple Tactics happens to do very well against a lot of different things. If your opponent like hand traps you, you get a look at their hand, or like draw 2 or something like that to potentially draw an out. It's nice, yeah, but it's not like insane. It's not something you always want to have. It's mostly like, hey, if you get Havnist or Ash Blossomed or something like that, you could potentially continue. And like, you know, you could even look at your opponent's hand and be like, all right, that one. Next up, we have Scream. Scream is really good, just mills 3 if you have a tier and your opponent does anything, which could just get you into the game immediately. Also, if it's sent to the graveyard, you add Tear Trap. So, very nice. On top of that, you can activate it on your turn. You can activate Scream, normal summon a monster, and then you get a mill 3, which is crazy. So, there you go. Then we have the one Heartbeat. Heartbeat is for back row removal, pretty simple. We have the Crime, also for back row. You just set it. This is going first option. This is going second option. Comes up quite a bit. Then we have, of course, the SnowiKs. We're playing 2 of this. If it's sent to the graveyard, you add a tier monster, and you can negate a monster your opponent controls. Very nice. As for the extra deck, we're playing 1 Mud Dragon. It comes up occasionally. There isn't really a whole lot of ways to summon this, mostly due to not having as many dark monsters to go into. But yeah, if you summon it, you're able to then go into another rank 4. But since we don't have Bestials, it's a little bit harder to summon. Still worth it though. We have the 1 Kit, we have the 1 Dragostapelia, we have the 1 Rukalos, the 1 Kaleido Heart. I'm not going to explain what all of these do, but you'll see. We have 1 Baron off of the Diviner. We have Abyss Dweller, absolutely crazy. Gooska, Time Thief Redoer. Notably, Time Thief Redoer can actually activate the monster effects because it sends to the graveyard for a card effect, not as like a detached material. It's not a cost, it's a card effect. Similar to Gigantic Splight as well. And next up we have Zeus as well. This is to deal with specifically problematic boards where it's like, oh, I can make like Time Thief Redoer, Walkover or something, make a Zeus and deal with the board. Or, even better, you can go Abyss Dweller against Tyr, activate the effect, walk into something in defense position, go into Zeus, wipe the field. Now they can't activate anything, and you're very heavily in the driver's seat. As for the links, we're playing Masquerena, Dark, Elf, Nightmare Unicorn, and Underworld Goddess. So, that's it for the deck list. Let's show you how the deck performs. Alright, here we are going first, and everyone is using the most blinding of fields. And it's really frustrating. Anyway, this is when I was playing Agito, and this is why I kind of stopped. I drew 2 of them multiple times, so I was just like, all right, we're just stopping. But yeah, we're just going to normal summon the Agito and activate Scream. I mean, it's not really much, but hey. Out comes the Tyr. Okay, we're playing the mirror match. This could get interesting. So we're going to negate the Perlino here with our Ash, and hey, they get a pass the turn too. Well, now we can normal summon in Agito and actually go off. Oh wow, that is an insane draw. So we're gonna draw our Sheeran here, and we're gonna actually activate the Sheeran. Out comes the Maxi. Of course, we have our second Ash, because of course we do. And out comes Crossout, calling Sheeran. Okay, I'm gonna special summon the Agito, because that was a thing that they could do, which then allows me to go for the Abyss Dweller into the Sheeran. Sheeran is then going to activate its effect, and there's the scoop. Yeah, I milled 2 millers, and sometimes you just get lucky. Alright, so here we are going second, and hey look, Cockroach. Fantastic. So we're going to fire off the Cockroach here in the draw phase to play around triple tactics, and out comes Foolish Burial for Shadal Beast. And, okay, Diviner of Herald, sending Kelbeck. Why are we sending the Kelbeck and activating its effect? Anyway, activate the effect. Oh, goody! I have a whole bunch of things to activate here. But most notably, we have the Shuffler. So we're going to shuffle a few things back. Most notably, we're going to target the Sheeran, which I believe activated its effect. Whichever one activated its effect. I believe it was the Merly, sorry. Merly, as well as their own Shuffler. This is why we don't want to activate a Kelbeck blind, or any of these Millers blind. It's just not worth it. It's a problem unless your hand is particularly bad. Out comes Herald of Orange Light to negate my shuffle, but that's okay because we're still going to add the Crime, and we have them under Max C. They also sent Agito, which means that they're probably going to activate it. Out comes Kit. Fantastic. Yep, out comes the Agito. They're also going to chain the Kit and grab up Scream for some reason, which is kind of odd. We didn't really mill very well, and again, Super Poly, gotta love it. Yeah, this is why I cut Super Poly, just my mills were pretty bad. But we did hit the Rhino Heart, so we're going to activate the Rhino Heart effect, and we pitched the SnowiKs. So we're now going to add the Havness off of the SnowiKs, as well as mill the Sheeran. Out comes the Winda, and at this point, I mean, we have the ability to just go into a whole bunch of things, so that Winda sure is helpful, I'll tell you that. They're going to go for the Scream, set to, and pass. They're also locked under their own Winda. Can't really do much under it, so yeah, they just passed. Yay, Maxi. I now have 1,000,000 cards in hand. Anyway, we're going to normal summon the Merly, activate its effect. They're going to activate the Scream. We are going to negate it with our Ash Blossom, and then they will activate the Gravekeeper's Trap, sending the Sheeran. Now, notably, that discards for cost, not for card effect, so they don't get the Sheeran there, so interesting. Anyway, we do get a Fusion Summon here due to, I forget what. Oh, we milled off of the Merly. So we got a fusion summon here. We didn't activate the Kelbeck because why would we? And now we have a Kaleido Heart. So we're going to activate the Kaleido Heart. They are going to then activate their SnowiKs in order to go for their kit colors. I'm going to negate the kit because I don't need it. And yeah, negate that. Proceed to battle, walk over to their field, and just kind of leave them on nothing. We also get to set a crime here, which is very powerful. But we're going to go for the Mudora here in order to special summon itself now that we have the ability to, and then link off into Sprite Elf. Sprite Elf effect is going to activate in order to grab up our Diviner and send the Keldo, which we didn't already have in rotation. So now we have the double Mudora and the Keldo, and we're feeling pretty good. We also get to set crime. So at this point, we're looking pretty good. Oh, also the Elf can now all bring back the Merly as well, which will then mill 3, which could then lead to additional plays. They're going to normal summon the Diviner, which will then trigger our Happiness, which will mill 3, and hey, look at that, we hit a Sheeran. We're going to activate the Kaleido Heart, which is funny, and then we're going to chain block with the Sheeran, but I knew that they had the Shuffler, so I'm just going to activate my Sheeran, just because I can, and yeah, the Kaleido Heart will just be negated. So we're going to put back some of our own cards with the Keldo, and then they're going to activate the Gravekeeper's Trap, and I see the Kelbeck come down into their graveyard. Out comes the Kelbeck, and we are going to activate our Mudora in order to shuffle it back before it can even activate its effect. So yeah, we're going to shuffle those back, and out comes the Agido. Sure. They've already used their normal, so I'm not really all that upset about it. They're going to go to battle, walk over our monster, and give us another reason to activate the Elf. Anyway, we're going to activate the Elf to go for the Merly here. Merly is then going to hit a few cards, most notably the Rhino Heart. That's fine. They're going to activate their their Agido. We're going to activate the Crime, and they will concede there. Good game. All right, so here we are going first once again, and yeah, this is pretty good hand, all things considered. The heartbeat isn't the greatest, but yeah, we're going to start off by pitching the Kelbeck in order to go for the Keldo, grabbing up the Mudora. We're then going to go for the Kelbeck here, and oh wow, what, whoa, hold on, before we begin with what I'm doing, what is going on? Bad aim? Dimensional? Wonkyu? Why are we playing these cards? These cards are terrible. Mirror. Okay. Anyway, we're going to go Scream, add the SnowiKs, and then we're going to Fusion Summon it using the Happiness in our hand. That's A-okay, because getting Kit is fantastic for us. So we're going to activate the Kit effect, and we're going to grab up the Merly, and then we're going to go and do the Merly Shuffle, or the Kit Shuffle, or something like that. Activate Kit, Chainlink 1, Chainlink 2, the Merly, and we're going to send a whole bunch of cards. We're then going to Fusion Summon it into the Dragostapelia, knowing that my opponent is on this stuff. I feel like Dragostapelia is way better. Being able to negate something like a Wonkyu or a Banisher of the Radiance or something like that, Inspector Border, is going to be way useful. Anyway, that's the only fusion summon that we could do. So we're going to go into the Elf, bring back the Merly effect, no Merly effect, because now I want to go into the Masquerena. Then we can activate our Shuffler in order to shuffle a few cards. I'm going to give them Bad Aim because it's bad, and then 2 of our cards as well. And then we're going to set to 2 and pass. We don't actually have a tier card, but that's okay because we still have like the Merly, so we should be fine. Out comes Raigeki. Well, shoot. Okay. I'm going to Fusion Summon, Link Summon into the Apollosa, and then we are going to activate our Merly effect after it gets destroyed in order to shuffle back in to go for the Mud Dragon. So out comes the Mud Dragon. They go for Banisher. I'm going to call Wind so that our monsters aren't targetable, and then we're going to go for the Mudora to shuffle back a few of our cards, most notably the Terraforming to grab the Field Spell, as well as the Elf. Put that back. We grab Imperm because I drew terribly this entire... Like, I played for 6 hours. I don't think I got, like, more than 4 good hands. So, yeah, it was pretty abysmal. Or, like, good draws in sequence. I had some good hands, just not, like, the greatest of draws. And they're... Yeah, called by. Anyway, we're gonna go to a battle again. And, my opponent appears to have nothing. So I'm gonna set the Imperm. It's not really gonna do anything. Called by is not really gonna do anything. And my opponent concedes. I want to show you this deck that's for some reason in Diamond. What is this? What is happening here? How? How did this Hammer Shot? Fissure. What is going on? This has to be a bot, right? I don't know. I just found this very funny. It's very like anti-meta, where it's like, oh, Dimensional Fissure and Banisher and stuff like that. And it's just it's so very bad. I'm sure one of the cards set was like this. Or like, no, it probably wasn't needle sealing. It was probably these to just useless cards, you know? Really, really cool. Anyway, that's it. And we're back with the deck, and in all honesty, I don't know what is going to be best with this, mostly due to the fact that I don't know what the meta will be. If you're expecting to see more tier, maybe less of the Kelbecks, less of the Millers and stuff like that, and play more like going second cards like evenly matched is going to be really good against a Shizu tier. But then again, if you're planning to play against a lot of things that aren't a Shizu tier, then all of a sudden the Millers become even better, because now you can potentially play the game on the first turn, and you can you're able to special summon some more monsters like the Mujora and the Keldo in order to go into Xyz to go for Zeus, because Zeus has or is like very good against a lot of those decks. So there's that. It's hard to really say. This is what I've come up with. Hopefully it helps. Yeah, but honestly, better player wins. Read the cards. Even that doesn't really help. I played for like 6 hours. Hopefully on stream you will be able to get something out of that. So if you want to check that out, you can check out the stream, which is in the Stream VODs playlist on my channel. So there you go. I played for 6 hours, and there are some good insights in there. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope that you did indeed enjoy. If you did, I like us very much, so appreciate it. And if you want to check out more content like this, as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh!, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.